When I received an invitation to join, I chose an international project, a golden opportunity that anyone in my field would dream of. But at the same moment, a close friend came looking for me. As my help for his new business project, he needed my skills and experience to turn his idea into reality. Even though I knew it could affect my career, I couldn't say no. I always thought it would. Most important thing is to help others. Important thing. But after the project was successfully completed, I realized that I didn't get the same appreciation or support from my friends. Unfortunately, this story is not rare. Many of us, like me, are faced with similar situations in which we were left caught up. The whirlwind of worrying too much about others and forgetting ourselves. But how can we change that? How can we learn not to worry too much and let go of what is unnecessary or beyond our control? Replies, then this video is for you today. I'm going to talk to you about the 10 principles of Stoic philosophy, a system of thought that helps us learn the art of not worrying too much. These principles not only help us understand the importance of self-care, but it also serves as a cure for the chaos of life in the 21st century. As usual, you should watch this video to the end, as each lesson is very important in your personal journey development. Principle number 1. Accept change as the course of nature. Have you ever watched trees change the color of their leaves from a rich green to a shimmering gold in autumn? It is a gentle and natural process that occurs without human intervention. This spectacle is not only a manifestation of the beauty of autumn, but also a vivid representation of the constant changes in life. Change is an inseparable part of nature, and when we understand this, we can flow with the flow of life without getting caught up in the vortex of negative emotions. Everything around us, from seasons to health conditions, from relationships to careers, is constantly changing. Part of the natural racial cycle, as Epicurus once said, is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it rather than yourself to it. To resist change, you learn to look for new opportunities, you develop skills and explore the path you always wanted to follow. This acceptance not only reduces stress and anxiety, but also opens up space for personal growth. Loss can become an opportunity that leads to a new career and even deeper satisfaction. A clear awareness of change and its acceptance is not a surrender, but an expression of inner strength and adaptability. Apply this principle every day to life. Not only helps us live each moment fully, but also improves our ability to overcome challenges and transforms them into opportunities for personal growth. Principle number 2 that separates from external validation. In the digital age of the 21st century, every like and comment on social media platforms is becoming more and more common. We often tend to seek external validation to independently determine our worth through public recognition. Principle number 2 encourages us to develop a sense of self that is not dependent on external factors. The key point of this principle is not to completely ignore the opinions of others, but to recognize that when we are no longer dependent on this factor, our true value changes, not just because of external feedback or recognition. Trust ourselves more, and we are more stable in the face of the fluctuations of life. Consider the example of a writer who writes not for fame or praise from readers, but because of his passion for telling stories and sharing his thoughts. If his work does not receive widespread attention or is not highly valued by the readership, the Stoic writer feels neither disappointed nor discouraged, but continues to write with the joy and inner satisfaction that the creative process brings, independent of external feedback or reviews. This independence of mind helps the author maintain focus and motivation to continue writing without being influenced by other opinions. Instead of relying on the number of likes and replies from other people to assess your value, ask yourself different questions. Are you satisfied with the content you create? This is what means to you, and represents your true self? If the answer is yes, leave a comment below this video, because that is the most important thing you should strive for. Through this principle, Stoicism encourages us to develop an understanding of when we believe in our own values and do not allow the opinions of others to influence our self-perception. It not only helps us build self-confidence, but also promotes an independent one spirit and makes an important contribution to achieving happiness and inner happiness. Peace. Principle number 3. Control what's inside, release what's there, without imagining that you are in a stressful and pressured situation at work. An important meeting has taken place and you have prepared it carefully, but the end result is not quite the same. Don't depend on you. No matter how well you perform, there are external factors that cannot be fully controlled, such as decision of the boss, the reaction of colleagues, or sudden changes in circumstances. In such times, the principle number 3. Stoic philosophy appears as a strong guiding light. The famous Stoic philosopher Seneca once said that in the imagination of we have more suffer than in reality. This statement emphasizes the importance of controlling what is under our control, such as emotions, thoughts, actions, while releasing those things beyond them. Our control as a result of the behavior of others or situations that cannot be fully controlled through the implementation of this principle brings 3 important benefits. First, it reduces stress and anxiety about things that cannot be changed, and we will have it easier. We must face difficulties and not allow ourselves to be dominated by fears about the future. Second, we become more independent and no longer rely on others to feel happy or at peace. True happiness does not lie in controlling others or the external events of life. Third, by eliminating unimportant factors, we are able to see our personal goals and values more clearly. By applying this principle, we can live a more peaceful and effective life. We have and are creating conditions for growth and happiness in all aspects of our lives. Leave a comment. I am ready to let us know that you are ready to implement. Principle number 4. Cultivating inner wealth. We all often get caught up in the whirlwind of racing for money, fame, and material things. In the pursuit of these superficial and short-term goals, we easily lose our true essence and value. The Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized once in the year that true wealth lies not outside, but in our soul and our spirit. This includes investing time and effort to deeply understand ourselves, control our emotions, and develop a moral spirit. Identify the really important values in life. What really brings us meaning and happiness. Imagine a deep journey into your soul, where every corner of your mind and heart is meticulously explored on this journey, where you will not only get to know yourself, but also build a true spiritual one treasure up, an infinite resource. As you delve into the depths of your soul, you begin to realize the true meaning of life, not only for yourself, but also for the people around you. You become more sensitive for the pain and joy of others, and this promotes the development of compassion and charity within you. From these moments, you begin to become spiritually rich. As we cultivate our inner values, we begin a journey towards perfection and depth. With the understanding of life, we can promote sustainable growth and illuminate our lives, and most importantly, the true wealth resides in our hearts and souls. Before we move on to the main part, number 5. Let's come to the story of Julia, a young woman who decided to host a family dinner one weekend, prepared a delicious meal, and the whole family sat around the dining table instead of worrying about unfinished work or challenges close. As dinner began, Julia began to enjoy the taste of fresh food, the tender meat, and the scent of spices, listening to her family's cheerful conversations and their humorous stories. She enjoyed the joy of this moment and knew that it was a precious moment in which the family lived. Could we focus on each other, without being distracted by worrying thoughts. Surely we all want to enjoy a memorable and happy dinner like Julia, right? This is a wake-up call to all of us on an issue we forgot or overlooked long ago. Let's move on to the next principle in today's lesson. Principle number 5. Embrace the present moment. Marcus Aurelius once reflected in his meditations that you never allow the future to disturb you. You will face it when necessary with the same weapons of reason that arm you today against the present. This statement is valuable advice that encourages us to focus on the present reality and use reason to each situation. Marco illustrates how important it is not to be distracted by the future instead of worrying about what might happen later. We should use our reason and the knowledge we have accumulated to face every moment of the present. The present has its own. The value of enjoying, fully caring about the past or the future can take away our concentration and joy. This can cause us to easily lose those precious moments. These moments will pass without us fully enjoying them, and it is a regrettable waste. Remember, life waits for no one, and dreams or regrets cannot change reality. Therefore, live completely in the present and transform every moment into an unforgettable and valuable experience. This is the key to truly mastering the art of not worrying, letting go, according to Stoic philosophy. Like our video to show your willingness to embrace the present moment. We would like to express our gratitude and congratulations to you for achieving in the middle of today's video. Your continued presence of here demonstrates persistent determination in the search for new knowledge. Direct your attention to the 5 remaining principles to complete this journey. Principle number 6. Understanding and accepting fate. Life sometimes takes us through storms that are unpredictable, so we must learn to face these events with strength. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the understanding and acceptance of fate. It is not about giving up or simply accepting suffering. We are advised to accept events and situations that we cannot fully control. But don't get me wrong, understand me. I don't advise you to leave to fate, but it's about learning to adapt your mood and your mindset to face them. We are often faced with things that are unchangeable, like the weather, changes in our job, or unexpected events, but instead we worry about things that are beyond our control. Stoic philosophy encourages us to look inward to understand how we react. Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychologist and philosopher, is a living example of the principle of understanding and acceptance of fate, of which he was one of the few survivors of the Eiz concentration camp during World War II. During his captivity, Viktor became Frankl witnessed unimaginable terror and brutality in the concentration camp. Under these circumstances, he could not control life and death around him. However, instead of being defeated by fate, he developed his own philosophy, which called logoi, based on meaning of life. Viktor Frankl believed that people in any situation have the ability to choose how to react. No matter how difficult the situation is, you can still find meaning in life. Accepted your fate in the concentration camp and focused on helping those around you and finding meaning in enduring hardships. We all need to understand one simple truth. Fate is an inseparable part of life, rather than delving into and worrying about things beyond our control. We should focus on how we respond and deal with these events. View fate as part of life's journey and as an opportunity for us to demonstrate strength, creativity, and willingness to learn. Comment, understand the fate, and accept it if you agree with this agreement. Principle number 7, be of service to others. We live in a world where pressure and busy lives can cause us to lose our true self. However, when we invest our soul and our time in helping others, we discover true happiness exists. They are not created from material things, but from human interactions and connections. Seneca, one of the famous Stoic philosophers, gave the profound advice that we do not exist independently of each other, but are all connected by a spiritual connection, and emphasized that we should not live in isolation and selfishly, but rather we need to look beyond our community and our social relationships. His point of view suggests that the mind is the bridge between people and creates an environment conducive to unity and development. When we dedicate our time and our effort, we discover that happiness spreads naturally when we provide encouragement and help. This not only makes others feel cared for and valued, but it is also a way to build strong and trusting relationships, build us up, become more understanding and humane, and make a real difference in the lives of those around us. Imagine that on a beautiful sunny day you see your neighbor Mary struggling with yard work instead of just looking at you. You decide to support yourself and Mary Garden in a conversation and enjoy a pleasant morning together. This action not only helps Mary complete her work faster, but also shows your care and willingness to help. Remember that we must learn to put the common good above personal interests and better spiritual development social. Life, this is not just advice, but a way of life, a path, a positive impact to achieve and make our lives more meaningful and complete when we put our soul into every action we truly become. Part of it is the good in this world. Principle number 8. Pursuing growth in adversity that had no difficulties and challenges. These challenges can come from various aspects of life, including work relationships and health. There are moments when we feel that life is a test and challenge. Up to our limits, life is not always calm and easy. Sometimes we encounter difficult situations, even failures. However, Stoic philosophy encourages us not to be afraid and to face these difficulties carefully. We can learn from challenges and turn them into opportunities to grow, rather than avoiding difficulties and challenges. Focus on developing the mental strength to face them. Instead of feeling hopeless, we should focus on what we can control and strive to improve our abilities for ourselves. Control and coping with the situation. Let's look at the story of Jack, someone who has successfully applied this principle in life. Jack is a new employee at a large technology company and is working on an important project. His boss is very strict and always demands high results. During the process, Jack encounters many difficulties resulting from lack of time, a heavy workload, and pressure from other colleagues. Instead of complaining and becoming discouraged, Jack decides to see these difficulties as opportunities to develop skills of time management, organization, and workability. Under pressure, Jack learns to work more efficiently, finds ways to work with colleagues, and, in particular, improves his stress management skills. Jack not only successfully completes projects, but also becomes stronger when we face challenges at work and in life. This shows that in difficulties we can find opportunities to grow and mature. Our journey through life is not just about successes, but also about failures and difficulties. This principle reminds us that growth and maturity do not occur when everything is going well, but often through these challenges we learn and appreciate your journey more, turning every difficulty into a step forward in personal development. Principle number 9, reflect, review, and realign. Our regular reflection is the mirror of the soul and the foundation of. A meaningful life is not only an action, but also a state of mind, a state of the soul that we create and maintain when we talk about life itself. When we think about what we have been through and what is happening, we open the door to our minds in. This is where self-understanding begins, where we discover our inner values, and in the moral orientations of we realize that life is not only about competing against time, but also about understanding and enjoying every moment. In addition, reflection helps us maintain flexibility in life instead of getting carried away by everyday life. We have the ability to adapt our behavior and goals based on lessons from the past. This helps us adapt and grow in any situation. Finally, reflection not only helps us create a meaningful life, it is also a source of motivation and encouragement for us to continue along the path. Never forget goals and the meaning of life. If you find yourself in a stressful situation at work and things don't seem to be going well, you can dial to respond by blaming and resenting everyone around you or finding a way through to solve the problem. Solving problem constructively by choosing a positive attitude and focusing on finding solutions, you can create a peaceful space in your mind while improving your work environment and can achieve more positive results. This shows that decision in applying knowledge and positive thinking can bring about positive changes in your daily life. Principle number 10. Recognize life's natural cycles. Are you a sports enthusiast? Your passion for sports is tied to your beloved bicycle. This bike has accompanied you on many journeys and has become an important part of your daily life. However, one day you lost the bike in a theft. The loss of this bike initially caused a deep sense of pain and regret. You might feel like you've lost a part of yourself. However, over time you begin to see this loss differently. You seize the opportunity to buy a new bike, which could be a better model and more suited to your current needs. You also learn to appreciate the true value of physical items and find joy in life without relying on them. This is the way Stoic philosophy wants us to approach the ultimate principle, recognizing the natural cycles of life. We all go through prosperous phases when everything goes smoothly and challenging, moments when we face difficulties and obstacles. This principle encourages us to appreciate both types of phases. When life is favorable, we should enjoy every moment without being overconfident or dismissive. This allows us to fully experience prosperity while not becoming arrogant in difficult times. Don't be afraid. Instead, view them as opportunities for growth, learning and becoming stronger. Life has its natural cycles and we should focus on being flexible and ready to adapt to any situation.